Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another cast of Major League Mech Warrior. This is Week 6, Clan Smoke Jaguar versus Steel Jaguar, the Battle of the Jags, and I am joined by a very special guest, another Outreach shill, moderator, and longtime Steel Jaguar player, Thrax. How's it
I
going,
love
man?
how I'm a special guest, even though I was casting long before your time, you little whippersnapper. It's going pretty good. Roommate's finally out of the house, or at least for now, for a day or two, so I can cast without everybody going like every 10 seconds.
I was gonna say,
It's
what's
nice,
that
my
doing to your
sanity is
sanity
intact.
in general? Like, that's gotta be hard to live with over a long
It,
duration.
it, he goes until midnight. He
Ooh,
goes until midnight.
damn, girl, that's ow.
And I'll just throw that out there right now. I am doing a second perspective. If you want to have like multiple views on the same drop, head over to twitch.tv/serialthrax and you'll have my view. I'm going to link it in chat.
I actually just
Also,
linked the
build.
multi-twitch,
Oh,
so
okay, fine.
everybody's got it.
Although the overlay is way, way better on Bill's view, but
And I will be awarding mech bays on my channel. Like, that's the chat you need to participate in if you want free stuff. So, shitpost in chat on mine. Be sure to watch both perspectives, though. Before I forget, I do want to plug a league that's coming up. I want to plug MRBC. So I did get some things wrong about it last time. It's 8v8, so it's a lot more accessible to smaller teams, and that's a really good thing. That's one of the hard parts of Major League Mech Warrior was, just scraping together 12 is hard for a lot of units. It's split into divisions, so they're like tier rankings where, teams like Imperial and Steel Jaguar are not going to hit brand new teams. They rank them into, it looks like 4 divisions right now, and they each play each other twice, each team in the division. So you're not going to be going against wildly terrible odds. And let's see, signups in Sunday the 7th, so that's in like 3 days. So be sure to get your stuff in there. It's a great league. It encourages diversity. You can only have like 2 clan mechs in every drop, and I don't believe you can have more than 1 duplicate in any drop deck. So it encourages diversity. The drops are way different. They have objectives and totally different loadouts. It's a very BattleTech kind of experience, and I highly recommend anybody out there that's thinking about a league, check it out. It's a much more casual kind of setup in that at least you'll be going against people that are on your skill level. You won't just be getting totally smacked around. And there are 40 teams signed up right now. Wow, that's pretty good. Nicely done. And yeah, that's about all I get to say about that. Go check that out. And yeah. Looks like they're not in lobby yet. No, half of them are in lobby. So we should be
I'm
going in
seeing
maybe
a
5 or
decent
10.
number of SJR guys in the lobby, so
Oh,
should be able
yep.
to go pretty darn quick,
Mag
unless
just joined.
depends how fast CSJ goes.
Well, this is going to be, let's see, do I even have the right stuff up on the overlay? Yes, I do. Tourmaline Desert. This is going to be best of 5 since we're in week 6 now. Conquest, 3 lights, 3 mediums, 3 heavies, 3 assaults. Skirmish, 720 tons on the second drop. Back to Conquest, 3333 on the third. Fourth is Skirmish, 600 tons, so a little bit of a lighter drop deck. And then the last one, back to Conquest if it goes that many rounds. What do you think is going to happen on this map, Siri? Think it's going to be a lot of trading?
Well, I'm going to first off say I find it interesting that the rules for the league are just 1 map per round. Most other leagues have it swapped up every single game, every single drop weight on different maps. But here we've been running at it, all the best of 3, all the best of 5, have all been played on 1 map. That means throughout the league they've had to adapt, but within 1 match, the dominant style of a map can come to the fore, and Tourmaline Desert is a hot map. So I think watching the 2-8 game that you did the other week, there was like Gauss snipers, and late were being used quite often. But as far as this map goes, there is options for the styles, especially on Conquest. However, some of the points are a little hard to get to without throwing the rest of your team to the wolves.
Absolutely. You know, those two side cap points, you've really got to sort of sacrifice or make that conscious effort with your lights really early on to go get them, or, you know, you better just commit to a different strategy because neither of those are good places for your main force to be at all. But definitely interesting. I kind of like the one map per week rule because it allows teams to practice and formulate their drop decks specifically for that. And then for those who, well, I guess I didn't really mention it yet, but most people that have watched these probably already know, the loser of each drop then gets to pick the side of the map they want for the next drop. And the lowest ranked seed chooses the first side. So CSJ is going to choose the side of the map that they want on this first drop here. They might have actually done that. Let me check the thread.
And I mean, that side choice, it does come into play. It's very useful with how the map designs are not symmetrical. That's a bug I have. I don't like the fact that they're asymmetrical, because there are strong positions that sometimes only one side of the map has. If we're going to go throw back all the way to the very first round of the first engagement tournament, where the rule set was skirmish and teams camped cave, there was a bit of a hullabaloo about that. So it does give the loser, say the map is one side favored, it gives them the choice to deny those premier camp spots like the cave from the other team. And in the 2-8 EMP match, we actually saw EMP take up a really strong position in G6. Now, 2-8 had lost the previous match, so they actually allowed EMP that spot. Whether EMP would have had a stronger spot on the other side, I don't know. Hard to say on that one.
Yeah, they have definitely not been.
They are deployed. Hold up, they are deployed. They are deployed.
All right. Kedge, let's get that overlay down. Gonna get a strong start there. CSJ did not end up putting it on the thread, so we're just gonna have to find out.
And Gut pokes me saying they're launching. Thank you, Gut. And like 4 other people from SJR.
I'm pretty good at just watching it these days, although big shout out to PGI for implementing a spectator mode that everybody can use in the next couple of months. It's gonna be so nice.
Was that next couple months, or was that like end of this month? I forgot.
I think end of July, but okay, so CSJ's over here in blue. SJR is going to be in red across the map. It looks like 3 dire wolves, no surprise there. Stormcrow or even 4Xs, lots of Stormcrows, lots of Timberwolves, so very standard deck from CSJ. No
and from SJR, it looks like they brought 2 dire wolves and a Stalker 4Ns. They haven't opted for triple dire. They've gotten some poke out of that. Triple Timberwolves, no surprise. 3 5-starter S's from SJR rushing the center cap point, Theta, put up a UAV to make sure they're covered, and they're just going to grab that for the early initiative and try and fall back before anybody in the stage spots some Grey Fox going up. He's going to have a look.
Direwolves taking a ton of damage, though. I'm looking at SJR's Direwolves, very weak. Leo for CSJ, also in his Direwolf, very weak all over.
There's just some concentrated training going on here. The lights for SJR, they're off on the side. They're looking to initiate in the back, or at least get some sneaky strikes down. Grey Fox, Legal, and Tweakin gonna hook up back on the stage here. CSJ has no clue that they're there. Now they do. The Solitude and Raven scouts them out.
Yeah, and the heavy mechs have taken a ton of damage really early here. You see those Direwolf 62, 58 for CSJ, and on SJR's side, I'm sure it's not much better. 68 for G-Man, 71 for Pie Maker.
Quick correction, there is ECM the Hellbringer from Erodian on the SJR side.
SJR is moving in.
SJR's lights are in the stage. Everything from CSJ is swinging back onto them. That's what's prompting this push here, is the potential of their lights getting caught out and CSJ turning. That breaks their fire. SJR the crossover here. And they've kicked Leo and Nerevar. I think those were both Direwolves. They've knocked them out.
2 down.
For no deaths in return.
So SJR cresting here. They're getting some trades. I'm going to go in on Core Knight.
Beautiful strike going out against CSJ here. SJR is cresting this ridge. Their fire starters are playing the stage, trying to get a little bit of flank action going. And it's still 2-0 in terms of kills. SJR's
CSJ
favor.
not in a great
Herodian,
position though. Jaeger's got a side view in his Timberwolf over there. They're really kind of surrounded. They don't have cover.
4-0 SJR's favor.
Three
now
more.
The push is rolling in here, just all around this, and SJR has a lot of angles here.
Yeah, SJR's pretty much got them totally surrounded, and it's definitely going to go SJR's way pretty convincingly.
X
Solitude
just falling over.
It's just Solitude in that Raven. If he can clutch this, he gets all the MC packs that
Uh,
I have.
there are 3 Ravens up. It's Dario, Solitude, and Silent Wolf. But, I mean, like, 3 Raven 4Xs against, well, the entire team, plus all 3 fire starters are still up. Dario powers down, and he's getting swarmed by the fire starters. Silent Wolf is up here in the back, Solitude's over there, but there's, like, yeah, there's no way.
It's just the hunt at this point. Definitely really well played by SJR. That was a great use of their lights. Really got him in back there, got CSJ to turn, made him uncomfortable, got a couple of good strikes, and then rolled in with the main force to finish him off.
And that was a really well timed 1-2 flank, distract, push. Like, just that was basically textbook on how you want to do that. Because if you throw that push out there, well, that firing line is still just gunning you down in the open. You can pretty much kiss your ass goodbye, because as soon as one of the guys in the firing line gets weak, they can step down and break fire while you're stuck in.
Yeah,
Entire
and
CSJ team reacting to those lights, the door was open for SJR to close down with those heavies.
And looking at the damage numbers, you know, you see that it's not too much different, although SJR definitely has the higher numbers overall across the board, probably about an extra, I don't know, 50 to 100 damage per player. They didn't get a couple caught out early, you know, you see some low hundreds numbers from CSJ, and, you know, it was weird to see those direwolves all go down so early on both sides in terms of health, but great push by SJR.
A little difference in the drop decks here. Herodian wasn't the Hellbringer, so SGR locks makes it harder to focus fire, because you don't know if the Dire that's popping up now is the same one that was there a few seconds ago. But the other thing was, in their medium slot, they went with Wolverines instead of the Stormcrows. And I'm entirely sure if the Wolverine is flat out better. Seems like SJR feels it is, but
to be perfectly honest, I feel like, you know, those burn duration nerfs really did sort of hurt on the crows. I mean, obviously, you know, not things like street crows, but I definitely have been seeing, you know, for the past, since the nerf anyways, I've been seeing a lot more Thunderbolts, and, you know, compared to Timberwolves, and a lot more Wolverines or other mediums in general compared to the Stormcrow dominance that you used to see just a couple ago.
I mean, the 2-8 versus Imperial match was still a lot of Stormcrows, or did they also swap to Wolverines?
Pardon?
The 2-8 versus EMP match, were Wolverines favored there as well?
I am trying to think. I know that on one drop, 228 brought cicadas, and that was really weird, and it didn't really work out for them. In the, let's see, there was like a close range, like a Gauss Crow. Gauss Crow was definitely there on Imperial's side in a couple of those drops. Second drop, it was just Stalkers and Ravens for 228. I'm trying to think about their first deck, though. They might have had a Wolverine in there. Couldn't tell you for sure, though. I'm going to quickly switch to map tactic view, just so we can do a quick recap of that. I am watching Magician in lobby to make sure we don't miss whenever they launch. I should probably give you drawing privileges, huh?
Yeah, that'd be nice. Also, I do have I've got a keen eye on that, so you don't have to worry too much.
Okay, that's I've gotten very paranoid at this point.
My entire unit screen is gonna flash.
You know, that is actually very true. That's quite helpful to have an SJR player here. But so CSJ up here in red, and basically they set up in Delta 5 standard trade. You know, didn't take stage. I've been seeing teams do this. You saw it was either 228 or Imperial. I think it was I think it was Imperial. No, first match it was 228 that was over there, and they set up. And same place. You've seen this used a couple of times. SJR likes this spot, and they just traded between there. Then smartly, what tipped the battle was really those fire starters. Those fire starters got behind, started turning heads, got a couple of good strikes down. CSJ's line turns a little bit. They fed a couple of mechs up into stage to go chase the fire starters, which at this point were sort of trying to bail out back to the main force. At the same time, the main unit rolls in straight up to the hill, sort of encircles them. Jaeger got over here to get more lines on him in his Timberwolf, and they just sort of... There was nowhere for CSJ to go. They just got trapped in a corner.
Yeah, that was a complete encirclement there. Whichever CSJ was facing and trying, they were getting hammered just from any other angle. And they before that push, or as that push was happening, I didn't see exactly what, those two direwolves from CSJ were taken out.
And
the other thing to point out here, the other thing to point out here was that SJR did have the center cap point. I mean, how lethal the game is right now, it very rarely goes to those caps. But if SJR had wanted to, they could have sat back a little and tried to just exploit CSJ's recapping.
Yeah, that's absolutely... that's the way to use the Conquest caps. I mean, we've only seen one game go to caps in this league so far, but it does put pressure on. If you own more of those cap points, you have the right to take a defensive position and just sit there. You are the one in that first round that determines who's on offense and who's on defense. So, it was a great play, and eventually CSJ was going to have to move. I just think that they really got caught in that corner, and it did not go well from there.
Just a quick aside, request from viewers, if you could go into first person more. I'll cover the third person view on mine.
Can do.
Alright, cool.
I really just wish there was the problem I always have is jumping into the right mech quickly, bringing that menu up. I just want a jump to mech in the center of the screen button so bad. But whatever, it's coming soon. Trademark.
Okay, so, I mean, normally half our casting discussion is like, hey, okay, that was that map. Now what are they going to do on the next map? Goddamn your rules for making this difficult, because now we just have to contend with the same map over and over again.
I mean, you say that, but now it's CSJ picks the side of the map, and they have to rush now. Because if it ends in a tie, now this is skirmish, both teams get a point, so there's absolutely no reason you would ever do that. That's like allowing them a free win. So, what would you do? What side of the map would you pick, and where would you try to go for?
720 tons in 12 on 12. I was going to say 15 on 15, but that's tanks. In 12 on 12 is reasonably heavy. 700 tends to be just about the average drop deck, historically speaking, from leagues like Run Hot or Die. So 720, little above average. You still need to bring lights and mediums, or just a lot of lights, in order to trim your fat. 1 second, SJR messaging me. Alright, never mind. So, like, there are two approaches to this. You pick the side knowing that your opponent isn't going to have a super strong turtle point, and then you just chip damage, out-trade them. Something that CSJ, I mean, I say this a lot, like, in my cast, but CSJ seems to favor their sort of long-range chip play as a style, and so it would be up to them to pick the side. I would suspect that, having seen the 228 versus EMP game, they're going to pick South, so that G6 is not available to SJR. Now, that is kind of predicated upon SJR willing to go camp. And given how aggressively they played this last drop, I don't think they are. I think they are comfortable on the offense, and they're going to bring a drop deck that enables that. So if CSJ expects a full turtle, and I might have egg on my face when I predict this, but if they expect a full turtle, it might end poorly for them when SJR plays aggressive. Now, that being said, if SJR goes that way, CSJ has also played them before and know that they do go for map control and do go for aggressive play. So, what I'm trying to say here is that these two teams have faced each other enough that it's kind of like mind games within mind games, and there's a certain point where you just go, okay, we're going with the style I'm comfortable with. Screw what they're doing.
Pretty much, you kind of have to. I mean, I remember that one of the earlier games I casted, I believe that was Run Hot or Die, where it was on River City, and it looked like CSJ built their entire drop deck expecting SJR to just crash into them. Like, they brought all sorts of things they would never normally bring, all sorts of brawly stuff, mechs that had literally no capability to trade at range. And then SJR just said, that's probably what we're counting on them doing that, and we're just gonna, or maybe not counting on it, but they just wanted to play the trading game. And so then CSJ got out CSJ'd because they were effectively down to trading mechs. You know, you've definitely got to be confident in what you do and just do it, not try to play reactively.
I mean, we've seen those sort of reactive plays, like they're gambles. Gambits would be the correct word for them, actually. Again, that kind of historic game where 228th rushed Brawlers over Caustic Valley in the first engagement tournament and damn near knocked Lords out of that. So, also, stream is complaining that my camera isn't on yours. Lol.
That what?
That we don't have Skype going, so they can't see my pretty face.
Yeah.
It's on my stream. Don't worry about it.
Okay, yeah, I know it's awful, but you're gonna have to broadcast your pretty face because I'm too lazy. I mean, it looks even worse if I just slam the webcams on top of an overlay that really doesn't have a place for them. So, I've just left them off. I also sort of look more like a real homeless guy now, where I've had like a bruise on my eye for like the past week, so it looks like I got stabbed. It's pretty great.
Oh god, what did you do?
That's just it. I have no clue. I feel like I must have lost a fight with a sneeze that I didn't realize, because I just woke up one day and there's this big bruise on my eye. That, or I just got blackout drunk one too many times.
Walked around a corner into a street crow in the light. Yeah. I suppose I'll draw on here. Just like the position I'm talking about for that EMP was using was in here, and T28 tried to assault it, going sort of. They kind of slowly pressed up here, and it didn't end well for them. My feeling was that the aggression was too slow. Like, there were opportunities that I saw where the EMP lights were out here in H4, and if they had pressed quickly up into here and here, oh god, and like cut off them from rejoining the main group, then maybe they pick a light, and it being skirmish, they can just fall back. But it seemed they were a little hesitant, so.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like they just slow played it a little bit too much. They wanted to play the trading game, but it was like, yeah, that would have been alright if they were going to have to come to you, but they can really just turtle, and G6 is a strong position to turtle against a long-range team. You know, there's really only one realistic way to approach it. I guess you could approach it from the Epsilon side, but that just sounds like a nightmare through that canyon. And up top, you really do got to take time to get set up, and I think they were definitely just too slow getting there. Still a good match. That double strike. Oh man, that double strike. You know, I guess since
we are.
I was gonna say
we are still
probably
waiting for
time
SJR to get into this.
Yeah, I'm gonna
like
just
I'm showing them
avoid
as
that
online,
thing.
not even in lobby.
All right. I'm telling people 5 minutes ago to type no pants to win a mech bay. There we go. There's our first no pants. And I'll do the next one right after we get out of the next drop. I'll announce that one verbally, I guess. Give people that are not reading the chat a chance.
So yeah, anyways, while we have the chance, we kind of touched on it, but how many weeks now has it been since that laser nerf? Is it 2, 3?
I believe it's 2. I believe we had it for week 5 and on.
So you've been casting these matches just pretty much week in, week out. How have you seen teams adapt to that?
Like I said before, I've just seen more Thunderbolts in places of Timberwolves, and I've seen more other mediums in place of Stormcrow, whether that be, something more standard like the Wolverine or something kind of off the wall like the Cicada from 228th. I've definitely seen... you still see them around. Oh, I've also seen more Hellbringers. Hellbringers, another, that seems to be like the choice. You see EMP especially leaning hard on those, and honestly, those Hellbringers carried them out of every one of those matches to a large extent. Those Hellbringers definitely pulling their weight there. So I think that's really what it switched to. It's not that the Timberwolf isn't good. It's not that you don't still see it. I just don't see it nearly as much. Clearly, though, both of these teams like it, particularly CSJ, which honestly I'm sort of surprised at because I've seen a lot of them bitching on Outreach about those laser nerfs. So I don't know. I guess still think it's good enough.
Well, I wonder if it's because the ER large laser on the
lightsaber, you mean? The clan lightsaber? Yeah, that thing is pretty great.
Because CSJ did like their quad large laser extreme chip damage builds. So that's definitely dead as a doornail.
Yeah, I used to have a 4-year large build for Community Warfare, and at this point I still run it, but more just as a mercy mech to give pugs a chance if it's just too much of a steamroll. It's a pretty sad state of affairs, to be honest, but in a way it needed it. You could have done other things to the mech. Do you think the laser nerfs were the best way to go, since that was really the problem build, or?
I mean, maybe to an extent, it targeted that. I would have liked to see some of the other underlying problems addressed. Primarily, a heavy that goes 90 with no durability issues. So what I was going to comment on here in terms of why we saw the Timberwolves last drop was because it was a class-based drop. You take 3 heavies, any 3 heavies. If you bring Hellbringers, it's 10 tons lighter, right? Or is it 5 tons? Anyways, even though offensive-wise they're pretty close, and those hard points are just sick in how they're high-mounted, the value of just flat-out armor is pretty good. And if you go all Hellbringers in that slot, then it's, I believe, 50 tons of armor that you're missing.
So, just so you know, I'm just gonna message the codes, since I'm clicking the other buttons. I might as well do this. Our first winner is Orb Monkey. Congratulations, Orb Monkey. You are the proud father of a new mech bay.
Wait, you mean I wasn't supposed to redeem those codes myself?
Oh, geez. Well, talk to Siri about getting your mech bays.
I'm kidding. I wouldn't do that, except for the time I did.
Dude, it's so tempting. I have this huge spreadsheet worth $1,000 just sitting in my documents. Oh god, I could be rich for 2 weeks before they were like, wait a minute.
Yeah, except, I'm the goon spy, not you, so can't do that.
Yeah, but I did get offered $500 to kick NGNG out of our subreddit the other day, so my reputation precedes me. People are still trying to bribe me, and I thank them for it. Please do continue to send me as many bribes as you can. Speaking of which, shout out to NGNG for hosting us right now. Always love to see that, because you guys have all of the followers, and this is honestly pretty great MechWarrior content, if I do say so myself. I'm not going to be modest here. Competitive matches are pretty awesome to watch.
Okay, legal department in chat is saying that they just invite, so CSJ has pulled their team together, and quote, I don't know, ETA, we just finally got an invite from SJR. So, looks like SJR is ready to go, and hopefully lobby invite means that CSJ is, and that we'll have a match any second now.
That is what I'm hoping. I see them all in lobby. You know what? I'd bet we're going to be going in within 45 seconds. I'm really optimistic here. I feel like I should probably just amend the rule about 10 minutes between matches, because so far, I don't know that it's ever happened. Like, ever. Maybe once. And that was with the team that literally didn't change their drop deck between Conquest and Skirmish.
Well, I mean, with the new mech lab, you might actually be able to pull it.
I don't know. They just need a strip all modules, strip all cockpit items button or something.
They really do.
I know they're going to fight it. I know it's part of their monetization, but it's like, come on, guys. Make everyone a mech collector. Listen, you don't want people dumping all of their C-bills on 20 million, 2 mechs worth of C-bills on modules for each mech. And why? Because then they're not going to want to buy the hero mechs. They're not going to want to buy more stuff. Everybody in this game should be a collector. You want to drive your consumers to just want more stuff. Looks like, did they just launch? Yes.
They did. They are readied up and launched.
Alright, here we go. SJR is up 1, drop 2, Skirmish 720 tons.
Yes, swap the thing.
CSJ is going to be in blue. SJR is going to be in red.
And interestingly enough, CSJ did take that north side, so if SJR wants to, they can take that same G6 spot Imperial did.
I see lots of Hellbringers and Timberwolves for SJR, and of course a complement of 3 fire starters as the lights.
Raven 2X's for the poke, 4 of them, or well, 3 of them plus a Raven 4X, compose the lights of CSJ. They have 2 Wolverines, a Stormcrow, like 3 Timberwolves, a Direwolf, and a Hellbringer as their heavy and assault. Or sorry, 2 Direwolves coming out of them. So they do have the Dyers. They are tied down to an extent, and we already have long-range trade fire going here as SJR is rotating aggressively off to the left here. They're not going to go to the G6 camp. Fortunately for CSJ, that's where their Direwolves are at as well. So at least they have that heavy firepower in the fight.
It's like the fire starters are engaging the Ravens.
Yeah, the fire starters are engaging the Ravens. Now, numerically, they're outnumbered, but they're way, way better at the brawl. Now, if they can catch Solitude here, that's going to be... Are they going to?
They're definitely being cautious. They don't want to get caught.
They're being cautious. They're backing down. They're getting out. That's a smart call, because the Wolf... Oh, no, never mind. That Wolverine's going the other way, so...
It's still a smart call, because if they had other mechs there, and, you're just looking to get legged by running out there and taking their hop across that field.
So, what CSJ has done, they've grouped up just all along this ridge. Ridiculous ghost hitboxes on them? Or has that been fixed in that pass?
Probably mostly still broken, maybe a little bit better.
Okay, well, what SJR has done, they were spread out here going for trades, but now they've just come back behind the kink in the map here. For CSJ to get at them, they'll have to move out into the open there and do a disadvantageous corner peek against this.
And SJR's lights just taking a look. Yeah, they're just sitting out there, making sure that... I don't know if CSJ knows they're there, but they're definitely going to be there to harass them if they do go in. You can tell that they're just ready to collapse if they do decide to round that corner. CSJ definitely taking their time.
Ooh, damn! Ooh, Legal just took 20% in that.
Ooh,
yeah, in that poke.
Zooming in on him.
And
How
they've
is
got
that?
like these lights are. They don't know it, but they're probably overcommitted. Check out how bad that is.
It's not bad.
That's what really matters.
Orange CT and an open left arm, so not the worst in the world. Gray Fox though, also not looking good. I'm gonna take a look at all the lights.
Yeah, those SJR lights are possibly getting a little too big for their britches. They're over-engaging into these heavies as well.
SJR moving in.
SJR
Heavy
is
on the
making
left.
push.
Oh, they've caught this direwolf.
Tweaking
Leo
his leg.
goes down. Leo goes down.
Tweaking his leg for SJR in the lights.
And
So
he goes
they're
down.
trying to pull the exact same maneuver
1-1.
that they did last time. Exact same maneuver where the lights distract them around the back and then the heavies just roll in. And it's not going as well because 2 of the lights are already down. Legal department's at 57%, but it's given SJR that position on top of the hill, and are they going to be able to roll that momentum
I think
out?
they've got it. I think they're rolling over. It's 2-2 though. It is very close, but CSJ really caught in a horrible position, just out in the open, spread out. They were caught on both sides.
The numbers, though, look at the damage numbers. It's, despite the kills, a lot of SJR is not healthy. Magician's at 19%, 18%. He's one-legged Hellbringer.
So
But he still has, like,
4-2
5 of his weapons.
in favor of SJR. Oh, team kill. Piemaker takes down the legal department in that light.
It was a mercy kill. It's 5-3 in favor. But again, like, look at all those damage numbers.
I think SJR's got it though. They are
Dario...
more. They're more together. CSJ is pretty spread out right now.
No, here's the thing. How many lights are up for CSJ? How many lights? Because if those Ravens can pull range with all the
three
SJR
and
lights
2
dead,
Wolverines.
3?
They could just kite
3
them.
and 2 Wolverines. That's, yeah, like, Esoteric and Silent Wolf are coming out.
Yep.
Both that damage, that's like a kiter's wet dream for the scenario where you can pull a miracle reversal. So unlike that first game, there's actually a chance here despite the kill difference.
We're gonna get in on
Moritzi
Silent Wolf. He's
and
almost
Dario,
late though.
Moritzi and Dario are getting surrounded. Moritzi goes down. Dario is, well, in the middle
Silent
of a
Wolf.
shitstorm, and he goes down as well.
If Silent
So,
Wolf gets this leg
like,
picked off, it's over. He's the only one that's got a chance, and he has really opened up on that left leg. I think this is going to go SJR's way. I don't know that he can kite the rest of this team.
Yeah, I mean, Jaguar and Erodian, Timberwolf and Hellbringer are the only healthy... Like
And
Carnage.
Ghost at 74%, not bad. I think they've got this pretty convincingly. I don't think that Raven is going to be able to get away. Sure enough, the leg
On the
pops.
corner, and Esoteric is only 300 meters away, shut down, overheat, slaughtered, legs popped, like you said. Like, there was a chance here if those lights could scramble and just take a second to regroup and move out there together. But they got split, and some of them were caught just in the middle, trying to brawl with those range lights. Now, like, look at these damage numbers, look at these scores. It's a much, much better result for CSJ this time around. That light turn play did not go nearly as well for SJR this time.
I mean, it's true, but the distraction factor worked just as well. I think their lights got a little bit greedy, but, you know, perhaps that was almost the purpose. Maybe they took I don't know, it almost looked like they were just, a couple of them just taking damage, just luring them over. They weren't really moving, trying to scramble. They were definitely trying to draw CSJ over, and I think it really worked in that sense. In terms of putting them in a bad position, it worked. In terms of getting full damage out of the lights, absolutely not. You see all of them. The max damage was 200, and you can do a lot better than that in the fire starters. They did better last round, but I think that it still worked just like they wanted it to.
Was CSJ, like, over eager to take those lights out? Because, like, the direwolves were up there, and the lights, even just, if you pop over that and there's a medium or a heavy, one or two of them even, punishing you for it, it can go, like, it ruins your day. And by the looks of it, there were, like, actually, like, 8 guys looking their way, and at that point, like, that's too much. That is too much, and you've left your direwolves on their own, and they were picked off. And that's the other portion of it is, if it wasn't direwolves left in E4, then they probably could have just, like, scrambled away and reformed in D4, D5, E5. But when you leave the direwolves behind, yeah, they're direwolves, yeah, they're going to chunk out, like, 200 damage in 2 volleys, but mobility still is king.
Yeah, and I'm looking on the replay now, and it's like, you look at CSJ's line, they've got quite a few mechs over there trying to chase those lights. Their line just completely disintegrates as they as they went for him and really all turned their heads. And that direwolf goes down really, really fast on its own. You know,
Squirrel.
yep, they did. You know, and this is what SJR is really good at, using those lights. You know, I've seen this whenever I've watched them play, even quite a while ago, is that they really use those to squirrel other teams and then just come in with the main force with the real punch. So that brings us to round 3, Conquest 3333 again, and yet again CSJ has the map side pick.
I mean, CSJ, if they want to get back into this game, they have sort of like 2 things that they need to work out on their game plan. 1, punish the lights, but don't overcommit to them. 2, don't leave your direwolves out to die, because in both matches, the first max down were those direwolves. It was an E4, overwhelmed by the push with no support in this game, and last game, same thing, they were left on that D5 corner, staring down the entire SJR team as they rolled out. And unlike a Stalker, you can't get asymmetrical trades and then drop down. When you're going out for that trade, you're big, you're fat, you've got like broad shoulders, and those broad shoulders cannot carry a team. They just make you an easy target. So
definitely,
they have to
abandoning your
tighten that up.
direwolves. You can't let those direwolves die first. You know, they do a ton of damage, and you need to let them do a ton of damage. You know, they're capable of putting out. You know, they're capable of basically killing almost any mech in 2 shots, and they've got to be able to get at least 4 or 5 of those real wallops off to make use of the tonnage. Otherwise, you know, you've just wasted, you know, one of your team's biggest resources. A very risky competitive mech, because it's slow, and you are right in that it doesn't lend itself well to trading. You know, it's a very much a committing to moving and just slamming damage in someone's face. They cannot win a peak war.
You're cutting out on me a little here. You still there?
I am still here. Hopefully, is this a
Okay.
little bit better?
Yep, you're good.
All right. I'm going to switch over to map tactics, I guess. A quick replay. Basically a repeat of that first game. SJR really got it down, and CSJ has not adapted. Maybe they just weren't expecting it. But
I mean,
SJR
like,
doesn't play, you know, defensively in these kind of situations. Sometimes they will, but a lot of times they feel if they've got an opening, they'll just go for it. And they did.
Until they do when you brought brawling mechs. So, yeah, I mean, like, that game was close. Much, much closer. CSJ's reaction to that any better, and probably could have been their game, given the just open fracas that turned into.
Yeah, I've put this on map tactics now, and, you know, basically pretty simple. All the heavy stuff for SJR down in blue went over here like Golf 3, Golf 4 corner, and they just waited. Their lights moved up to right by Theta. Well, you know, Theta wasn't there, but the middle point, and just sort of got CSJ heads turned. A lot of CSJ's guys started moving down here. At the point where SJR pushed, you could see guys all spread out here. This entire zone was covered in CSJ mechs instead of there being any sort of line. And at that point, SJR, just their main force, balled in. They got a direwolf down early. I think they took a stormcrow early. And from here, they just had the better focus fire. They pushed in, and CSJ never really recovered.
Sorry, I'm trying to sort out my stream.
Oh,
in a second.
you know what? Hey, Mech Bay, 5 minutes from now, well, in chat, you're going to start typing no pants. That's right. No caps, no space, no pants. Just no pants, and if you type that in chat, you will be entered to win a Mech Bay. So you should probably do that. I will try to watch chat in 5 minutes. It may be in the middle of a match, but if it is, I'll get to it after the match. It'll be okay. This bot hopefully knows what's up. So, Siri, any chance you can do like a player spotlight on a couple of these SJR guys? Since you actually know what you're talking about?
But if I did that, then they would have...
Basically, you should just talk as much crap about him as you can, as fast as you can. Before the 5-minute time limit is up.
Give me 1 second to fix this, and then I will.
Yeah, I'm just looking through the roster here. A
Throw
lot of
names out there and I'll talk.
I mean, how long has SJR been together? Because I see a lot of the same people have not changed units, you know, since I started playing at the beginning of open beta like 2.5 years ago. You know, Glory, Legal Department, Pie Maker, Tweakin', so many, you know, Jaeger, of course.
Jaguar and Pi came together as a joint application package. I think that was actually after I joined. I joined in like the February fall open beta. I think May-ish. So they've been in for 2 years now. Like I look at it, like how long ago was open beta? Was that 3 years? Was it really that long ago?
2.5.
2.5? Oh, good God.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that depressing?
Yeah, the core of the team, like the two leaders, the head honchos, Mummy and Daddy, are Magician and Glory. They carried this forward from MechWarrior 4. A couple of guys came with them. I know, like you said, looking at the roster, guys who have been carried over all the way since basically closed beta. Guts, one of them.
What about Tweakin'? He's
Looking at
always
it.
sort of struck
Now
me
that
as a
I'm
light
looking at
pilot.
it, there's like medium pilot. Cent A's were his jam, like friggin' amazing Cent A's.
But Cent
I'm
A's
actually looking at the
were
roster, and
everybody's
you're
jam.
saying like people have been here forever, and I'm like, actually, there's been a lot of turnover here. Like myself, Jaeger, Pi, Tweakin, all around the same time. T-Fun, Adwala, Legal Department came in the next wave. And then after that would have been like the final sort of wave of recruitment. Not really final, it's still ongoing. You can go through the website and sign up. Shameless plug. But like the names that you look there, actually no, Carnage was in that wave with Legal. But the names in there like Grey Fox, Erodian, Pure No, Trent, Soul would have been the latest crop of SJR, if you would. But even then, they've been around for ages. Like since I quit, or longer, so, you know, like 14 months plus.
Yeah, it just seems to have a low turnover rate, and I guess that's what you'd expect from a unit with, you know, the really competitive mentality, where it's like there aren't many of those that exist, and when you find a place you like, why change, right?
Yeah, and like if you look at any of these other top teams, they also have that sort of pedigree going. Maybe not as far back, but even through like team changes and such, you'll recognize core groups of players.
I was just going to say about CSJ, you know, that's very true about them. You know, a lot of those guys playing together in different units over various times, but, you know, a lot of core groups that have stayed together. You know, Khan, Ignotus, Goter. I think that's how you say it. I don't quite know. All I know is that, man, during the height of jump sniping, whenever I got a match against him, I was just thrilled because I knew it was me against like a real challenge in a Highlander, and playing someone that's better than you is just always a hell of a lot of fun. You know, Moritzi, Silent Wolf, Leo, Solitude, Esoteric, all names I recognize from a long, long time ago. And of course, Forge88, my favorite outreach poster. How's it going, buddy?
And I mean, like that's not to discourage any of the new teams either who are coming up, because we've seen teams grow and practice and give. Oh, what's going on? Never mind. thought I was being messaged that the game was starting. They are in lobby. But there are teams that have reached up and given these old ones a bloody nose, and I'm still looking forward to seeing them like finally reach the apex. Like again, 228th used to be just like starting up. Now they're going on like 2 years. Now they almost like 3 times very good games against Imperial, and they've taken games and series off of SJR. Seraphim, I believe, have done the same. Like they've beaten SJR, and
Definitely. I mean, it takes work. It takes dedication. You're definitely not just going to show up and be good. And, you will pretty much 100% of the time get your ass kicked for a little while. But as you grow as a team, as your focus fire improves, as, you just sort of get a feel for the rest of your team, I want to, give a shout out particularly to Marine Mechs, who exhibited great focus fire and pulled off a good upset against a team ranked I think 8 seeds higher than them, Comstar regulars, in like week 4 maybe, something like that, maybe 5. But they did a great job, and it did not look like a team that was ranked as low as they were. They put in the work and it paid off. So anybody thinking about joining the competitive scene, you can do it. It just takes a little bit of dedication, and you can get good, and it's a lot of fun. Although I don't have the dedication, I have played competitively in the past, only briefly. There we go. No pants all over chat. Let's give away one of these mech bays. Let's go.
I mean, post-tournament dissection of the up-and-coming, like, punching above their weight teams. So let's make a note of doing that after. As for the upcoming match, round 3, we're back to Conquest, and it's going to be the exact same conditions as that first drop, 3-all. And if CSJ turns this around, then we have our first sort of change up, and that round 4 is, and it's only going to be on 600 tons. So that gets into a much lighter drop deck.
I really
600
want to see
tons,
it.
you have enough room to get heavies in there if you go lots of lights. Definitely no dire wolves though. Good luck keeping up.
I mean, that's the thing. In those skirmish decks, I don't know how teams can stand to take the dire wolves. I think it's just such a liability. I mean, I guess if you're the team that's going to be on the defense and you're okay with just taking a defensive position and camping something strong, that can work. But for the most part, I just think those dire wolves are way too slow when you don't have to have them. I'd rather have, I've seen a lot of all Timberwolf, all Stormcrow, all Thunderbolt type decks where it's like 10 Thunderbolts and 2 lights, something like that. I like those kind of decks just because you all move together. Honestly, I think it helps even more for less experienced teams because you're forced to move at the same speed. You're forced to sort of have the same weapons that work in synergy with each other. Whereas, bringing different builds and ranges together can be done, but you got to be more experienced to do it right and still keep the focus fire.
Yeah, I mean, like, even in the last match, when you have those different components, you can see like how those lights were going off on their own. If you lean too heavily on them, then they're going to get punished, even if they're winning on a 1v1 basis. If they're the only thing in action, it's not 1v1, it's more like 1v2, 1v3, and you start losing trades really damn quickly. I think that sort of mentality actually, I'm going to digress a bit here, kind of transcends games, and yes, anybody who knows me knows I haven't really been playing MechWarrior much. I've been playing a lot of World of Tanks. It's a similar thing where you have a attrition-based HP, like non-respawn deal, and one of the like critical mistakes that new strat callers make in that game is trying to make like only half their team trying to win a fight at any given time. Because even if you have the best players and taking the best asymmetrical trades, numbers are just often overwhelming.
Absolutely. It's why this game results in so many steamrolls. It's why... I mean, it's all about focus fire. You know, at a really high competitive level, it's just about who sticks together, who, focuses the targets better, and who keeps their weak guys alive the longest. You know, I think that was like the edge factor in the EMP 228th games I casted. They were all just razor thin. I thought that 228th had every one of them at some point, but it just came down to EMP keeping those guys that I thought were going to be dead for sure alive, and managing to get off one or two more shots. Yeah, they did that really well, and 228 just didn't. A lot of their guys died real quick deaths there towards the end. That was what decided it. Well, they are in lobby, so I'm optimistic that we'll be launching in like a minute or two here.
Glory's calling me bad names. Help.
And for anybody that doesn't know, I think the QQ versus Mercstar Axis of Ignorance game is probably still going on. That's over on Army of One's channel. Should totally check that out. I don't even know how that's going. Why am I not watching that? That's my team. Why? Why am I not casting my own team?
Two matches later, I finally updated the score on my stream. Yay.
Ooh, it looks like Mercstar, Axis of Ignorance, and QQ Mercs are at one apiece, one game apiece, so that's going to be a fun one.
We're finally going to see the 600-ton drop out of someone.
Pretty much, no matter what, so I'm excited to see that. I guess if we get done with this early,
then
one of us should just go over there and cast with him. Finish it out. If you're not going to be around, I'll do that, but might as well come in for the last few. My optimism has been crushed. We're not dropping it. I don't even know what happens to take this long.
Well, I got the good news that they are readying up, so any second now. Come on, guys, press the button. Otherwise, I'll keep sticking my foot in my mouth, and Glory will more. Alright, in chat is correct. Oh my god, 600 tons? Did someone say top damage with streaks? But whether that's going to be the case, let's go find out, because they just dropped.
Alright, let's get in on this. Round 3, Steel Jaguar is up to if they take... Oh, I did. No worries. I'm more paranoid than ever about leaving the overlay up. This will be the final round if Steel Jaguar takes it, so CSJ's got to come back here, got to get it together, and take this to stay in it. Oh no. Controller, don't do this to me.
And the loser of this match does go on face in the elimination bracket, either Antares Scorpions or Seraphim, and that's being done tomorrow, I believe, yeah? Any case, we have CSJ, they have brought 3 Direwolves again, 3 Timberwolves, 3 Firestarters. That's the change they've made. They have ditched those Poke Ravens, and they have gone for the Brawlier Lights. They're mirroring the play that SJR did, and they're going like straight for Theta. SJR is cognizant of this. They picked to go different strat from what CSJ did from their side.
Yeah, they're doing 2 Ravens. They've got 2 Ravens for lights. So they're not going
Firestarters from taking Theta.
3 Direwolves, a Hellbringer, 2 Timberwolves, and it looks like Wolverines, 3 Wolverines from SJR, and again, the 2 Ravens and a Fire Starter. So they're going more pokey this time. They're not going to do a repeat of their same strategy, it doesn't look like.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good call, because you're not really going to do that, like, pull in and flank thing with the Ravens like you did. Just chip damage going on these light. They keep trying to sort of try and take Theta and just get that cap advantage, but...
And by Theta, of course, we mean Gamma, but
oh,
they shouldn't have changed
whatever,
the
they
names.
changed it.
I know, why?
Why did they
would you
change
do
the
that?
names? Anyways, CSJ is actually getting pretty spread out here. They're going to a wide flank, while SJR is all balled up, kind of ready for a push here. Or just continue trading. But now they're flexing out with the Wolverines going to the left side. The Dire Wolves for CSJ, they're sitting still up on the back hill there. Wolverines and Lights for SJR swing out to the left, while the heavy group stays on the right and controls the Overwatch on the Theta. Now they're trading against Esoteric and Moritzi and the Timberwolves on that Theta approach, and
Esoteric
going about
down
even
to 79. So I'm taking a look at damages. Oh wait, Silent Wolf is already down for CSJ.
Oh shit!
Was that a light? When did
he
that
was one.
happen?
Yeah, I didn't even notice.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going through now to see what we're down.
Leo is down to 60% in the Stormcrow. Triple
CT
large
damage.
Stormcrow. His CT is opened up.
G-Man down to
is down to
48%.
49.
Mag opened
And
up. Oh no, he's just lost a torso, but he's okay. He's got Gauss anyways.
now it's just a spread across like 500 meters each team, just trying to take these trades. And like we're seeing here, those Direwolves, they cannot do those trades as well. Nova in the water is down for CSJ. It's a 2-0 favor, with Gummin and Magician being down quite low as the offsets. Gummin's down to 33%. What's he in? He is in the Direwolves. So that's 2 Direwolves for SJR that are just viciously
Solitude goes
crippled.
down, so that's a Fire Starter, so now it's going to be 3-0 SJR?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and SJR is rolling up. They're rolling up into the stage with half of their guys, keeping the Wolverine on the left side, trying to punish the Direwolves. And as soon as those Wolverines are going to come charging across at them. However, Gut, in the move across, is down to 48% as well. So 3-1, SJR favor, lots of damage mechs each side, percentages in SJR's favor, as well as map control. But that could potentially go sideways really quick for them if CSJ can find the angles.
SJR needs to clean up this other side here, because if they go too much farther up, they're going to be surrounded on both sides. It looks like they are getting trades now, though, on Pasha Osis and that Direwolf up there, and he's going to go down quick. Look at that. Down 30% in just a couple of seconds. Down to 52, 50.
Yeah, they've kept these Wolverines over here as a pin against those Direwolves while they swing everything else in. And the
Dario in his CSJ Light CT cord. He got Gray Fox's leg, but he is super damaged. CSJ's main force pinned, and they are going to go down. They're surrounded on both sides. They're not going to make it. Morrissey on top of that pillar, probably their best chance, but even that's not looking good.
Oh, Jaguar's coming up behind him, just trying to gank him from below. And meanwhile, the rest of his team... He jumps! He jumped!
He wants to kill Jaeger if nothing else. And he gets
just
him.
that 130% Timberwolf, Moritzi. Ooh, Jaguar went
Oh,
down.
and he takes down Gray Fox as
Moritzi,
well.
double kill.
Moritzi.
Double kill. But yeah.
He might have gotten a triple kill if he fired that Gauss there. Oh man, that Raven almost ready to pop. So Moritzi's got a chance here. Not much.
No, he doesn't.
Oh no, I lied. I didn't see the other mechs.
He only has 3 Gauss rounds left.
I was assuming if there was a weak Raven and like 1 or 2 others, but nope. It's clearly over. Third round goes to SJR rather convincingly.
So both of our winners bracket, what is this? Quarterfinals. No, what would you even call this?
I have no clue. I haven't tried to figure it out. I don't call them any of those things. I just call it in week 6. This is what happened. In week 6, both of our winners bracket matches have been 3-0. And I gotta say, I think the 228th EMP matches were closer. Every one of those was a real nail biter, and I thought it could go either way, but At pretty much
Ooh.
every point, I think SJR had control of this series.
Yeah, like look at these damage numbers. Nova in the water, he was the second kill, 98 damage on Wolverine. Silent Wolf, big fat goose egg. CSJ tried to use those fire starters to take Theta. They never got it. They were approaching from that right hand side, probably expecting SJR to be on the left, so that was the safe approach. But SJR wasn't. They denied that. And they actually had an opportunity there after those initial pokes to get in there onto Theta, claim it, and then get out. But they kind of milled around indecisively, and SJR did not stop. And then in the getting out from that spot, their lights went down, fanned out pokes, direwolves, again, brutal trades, but they take damage like a pig. Both Gummin and Magician very quickly dropping down, but SJR I kind of want to. I don't know if those direwolves on the hill, if they had just come down, how it would have played out if they had managed to get some against the guys who were going right for SJR, like into the stage area across Gamma, then it maybe get some quick kills and then turn back onto the Wolverines who would have been sprinting across, then maybe that would have assumed that the right flank for SJR was over aggressive, which in one or two cases they were, but if they didn't manage to clean up the right flank in time while those Wolverines sprinted across, if those Wolverines keyed into it quickly, then they would have been stuck just again in that situation in the open there with Wolverines from behind, the main force from in front. But I do think that would have been a better call than just sitting up there.
Yeah, I definitely think that it just ended up being, CSJ again, pretty spread out, and SJR peaked up, where they had that lane on the middle cap point, and there were just, 4 or 5 guys there trading with them, including Lights, and, the bulk of their forces, all their direwolves, were sort of trading with, Ravens and Wolverines of SJR's, just as almost like a distraction. So it really took their main guns out and allowed SJR to get some really good trades there. So I don't know, and I don't know what happened to that light early on. I have no clue what happened. Totally missed that. So,
Direwolf
I feel like I'm actually gonna wrap up at least my stream and go try to help out Army of One for whatever the last match is, because I totally want to cast perhaps the last round of my own team. So I want to give a shout out to everybody for watching, for PGI for the prizes, to both teams for playing, to SJR for winning, to Siri for being here, and to, hang on, I'm reading the list. I gotta read the follower. I don't know what the hell you call it on Twitch. Lokar Hunter, Thel, Maverick, Tweakin, Jagged Flanker, Grim 57, Saye, Seth, the best. I think I already read Xanthus at some point, but maybe that was just because you wanted Mech Bay. Xanthus, JR Gone, Junior Gone, Fat Cretin, Hate Wine, Orb Monkey, Morgan 6K, Warren M87, VV24, Floff TV, Army of One, and Sola. Thank you all for following, or whatever the hell you did. And, yeah, I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to let Siri finish the rest. Go over to his channel or go over to Army of One's channel for the final match of QQ. Or not final match. Well, last matches. Whatever.
Continued.
So
you're going to go help him out.
Yep, I'm going to go help him out, and you can finish up, do the map
tactics. I'll just do a quick map tactic breakdown or something like that, and then I'll call it a night.
Sweet. Thank you again for helping. It's always much easier to do this with one more person.
I'm just glad I could. Glad I could,
I feel for you, man. I hope that construction ends soon for you. Get some reprieve. But anyways, I'm signing off. Thanks, everybody. Go watch Siri or Army of One.
You're not booting up your perspective again on this one?